You are late. I have been married for nearly 7 years and have 2 children. My wife and I have had our ups and downs typical of any marriage, and most of our friends have always thought of us as a wonderful combination that could make it through anything from talking to them. However, over the past 2 months I started to notice a big difference in my wife's behaviors. She started going out with a girlfriend who is going through a divorce and staying out until 2 a.m. nearly every time. She always claimed it was to help her friend through her tough times, but I just had a bad feeling as it was happening 3 times a week. Oftentimes weeknights, and she works at a daycare and gets up at 5:30 a.m. Her behaviors with her cell phone during this time also concerned me, as she was constantly texting all night long and seemed very secretive. Her phone was never out of her hand or pocket, and whenever I was sitting next to her and a text was received, she immediately had to go to the bathroom or stand up to go charge her phone and then would read and respond. When I called her on it, she got terribly defensive and wouldn't let me see her phone. She said it was just with her girlfriend from work and I had no business seeing what they talked about. Then one Saturday night, her best friend and family came from out of state to visit. Apparently, my wife tried to get her best friend to go out with her all Saturday, but her friend wasn't up for it as they have 2 small kids as well, and she went to bed around 11:30. Immediately after, my wife told me she was leaving to go out for a drink and just left. It was at that point that I truly felt she was having an affair. When I got upset about her going out all the time, she just told me going out was fun and she enjoyed it and that I should go out more too, and she felt bad for always making me feel bad for going out with friends occasionally. She also said she was feeling like we were more friends or buddies than husband and wife. When I looked up what this means, all online sites seemed to say this meant she found someone else. Then one day I went online to check the phone records and my heart sank as I saw she was constantly texting 2 different phone numbers. I snuck her phone away from her and saw one of the numbers was a man's name. I immediately asked her about it and she said it was just her girlfriend's brother-in-law, who is the bartender at the bar, who gives them free drinks and is just a friend. I asked her if she had ever been to his house and she said just once with her girlfriend for 5 minutes to get free movie tickets, but swore our marriage that she had never been there any other times. Then I took her phone and went to a friend's house to talk to him. I don't really know why I took her phone, but it was just an emotional moment and I didn't want her to be able to confide in him while I was gone. When I came back, I said I don't believe your story and there is no way he is just a friend, as the phone records showed 30 minutes 40 texts every single day for the past 3 weeks. Not one day was ever missed, and typically my wife is the one who started the texts each day. She finally admitted that one night her girlfriend was having a big fight with her husband, so she left and texted the guy to see if she could go to his house to watch a movie. She said all that happened was he put his hand on her leg, but she removed it. Then later that night I checked her Facebook and noticed she had sent some messages to her girlfriend asking her to warn the guy that I had her phone and that she was worried I would try to call or text him from her phone. She admitted several times that she's pretty sure this is it and we're getting divorced. Definitely nothing that seemed to make it seem like I was overreacting, or even anything that said I think my husband is assuming the worst, that I cheated. However, there was also nothing in there that concretely said I figured it out or anything other than her girlfriend did say oh no. Hopefully. The guy doesn't say anything, which sure seems bad to me. Then a couple days later she said she talked to her best friend, same friend who had visited a week earlier, and told me she told her everything and felt sorry for the first time and seemed a lot different. We had a great night and I truly thought change was coming. After a couple of days, I couldn't get over it still, so I called her best friend and just asked her to explain to me why I shouldn't worry. The second I asked why this guy shouldn't concern me, she immediately stopped me and said she was never told anything about a guy. She was rather upset that she was lied to as well and never even knew my wife had left that Saturday when they were visiting. She just thought I was jealous of her going out with her girlfriend and had even told my wife that she should stop going out with her and work on us. And that was without even knowing about a guy and just thinking I was perhaps letting it get to me too much. My wife has stuck to her story and I told her I talked to her best friend and she has since admitted to her best friend everything she said to me. She seems to be different and wanting change for the most part. For the past 2 weeks, she has always planned on going out with her same girlfriend who got her in this whole mess today, Saturday, and staying over at her house tonight. Earlier this week I said if you do that, don't come home and we're divorcing. She thought that was ridiculous and said she was going out and wouldn't be treated like a prisoner in her own home for the rest of her life. I said this isn't for the rest of our life, but I just found out everything within a week ago, so this is too soon. I finally said you could go out today and shop all day with her and go out tonight as long as you come home to sleep. She was pretty upset, but finally after I basically demanded it, she agreed, but said it would be late, 2-3 a.m. and she'd have to get a cab because she'd be drinking too much. She has never had to get drunk like this before in her life. She has fun partying and will get drunk when she doesn't have to drive, but has never had to be like this before. Now here I am, reading posts on this site and finding stories that are much too similar to mine that say she is cheating without a doubt. At this point, I don't know what to do, how to get the truth, or if I ever will. Do I just leave or tell her to leave? Or do I confront the guy since I know where he works at least? I just want the honest truth so I can decide how to move on with our family. I have even told her I could deal with the truth if she cheated, and it doesn't necessarily mean I will leave, but I can't deal with what I have been told up to this point. Also, when I did finally take her phone, all texts had been deleted, and since last weekend when I did this, she has continued to delete all texts. She told me she did text him last Sunday evening to never text back anymore, and so far they have not texted each other again, but she is texting her girlfriend even more now. Of course, right after telling him they couldn't text anymore, she deleted the texts rather than showing me to prove that's what she said. Comments: she is in an emotional affair at the very least with this man and using the toxic friend as a cover. Do the text snooping according to what the folks here tell you to do. If I were you, next time you know she is going out, trade cars with a friend and follow her. See where she goes. Take pics, gather evidence from texts and email, scrub her computer of every bit of info you can. Don't make a move until you have concrete proof she is cheating. Then confront, and be ready to show her the door. You realize that she is going to sleep with him today, right? She had hoped to make it an all-night sleepover with the friend covering for her. Do you know where the guy lives or his phone number? If so, you need to get someone to watch your kids tonight while you go check up on her at his place. My guess is the GF is covering for her hooking up. Sit outside the guy's house and see if she shows up there. The other thing to do is check which underwear she wears out tonight, both before and especially after. See if you can grab them from the laundry and have them tested. I'm sorry, but there is no way she waited for her friend to go to bed and then headed out if there was no affair going on. He called her and told her to meet him that night. OP responds: she never makes phone calls. It's literally all done with texting to her friend, and never one call was made to the guy throughout everything. But I agree, I do still feel like she is going through her friend to talk to him and set stuff up. I can't help but not to think that. Why won't she just leave me? I don't get it. According to my wife, he's working at the bar tonight and she promised they won't be going to that bar. I should probably call to find out if he is working. If so, maybe I just need to go there. I know his name, but he is completely unlisted. Can't find his address anywhere. She did have to all of a sudden leave at 9:15 a.m. this morning to go watch her girlfriend's daughter while her girlfriend went to an eyebrow waxing since her babysitter fell through. Maybe it already happened, cause her plans of going shopping in a nearby city have now not happened, as she just said they stayed in town to go shopping since her and her girlfriend decided to just hang out instead. I have no idea where her friend lives, and she is unlisted as well. I did just call the bar and he is working right now. I'm sure it sounded suspicious and I just gave a fake name and then hung up before he came to the phone. It also sucks cause when we have good nights this past week and I don't get upset. We have really good nights. She also says I love you still, and things actually seem to be improving as long as I don't bring all this back up. But then when she didn't want to come home tonight, I got all upset again, and although I feel it's warranted, if I go to the bar to confront him and find out nothing but suspect he's lying from how he says it, then all I've done is ruined any chance with my wife that she isn't lying. I know there isn't really one sign pointing to her not cheating, and it's foolish for me to think that. But isn't there at least a chance that she was just down about our marriage and he gave her something other than a good time that made her feel good about herself? But deep down she knew it was wrong, so she couldn't tell me since she wanted to keep doing it. Sure, it probably would have resulted in an affair, but maybe it didn't, and I'm just worried if I go to this stalker status and get caught, then I've lost all her trust as well, and at that point, I will agree. What's the point of being married if you have to go to that level? Comments: do not go to the bar to confront OM. That will be a waste of time, as he has already been warned that you may call or contact him. Do not confront anyone until you have proof. Everyone here is sure she is in an affair, but you really have no proof. The only thing you can prove is that your wife is an idiot who likes to go out and get drunk. Slow down on the urge to confront. You need proof that they are spending time together outside of the bar. I would say have a friend follow her or GPS her car. You are too emotional and would probably do something stupid and get arrested if you did find them together. OP responds: while a lot of these messages were coming out for me not to go confront the guy, I was already on my way. I talked to him and he denied everything at first. I asked him if they talked outside of the bar and he said no. Then said, well, we text every now and then. Then I asked if she had been to his house and he said no. Then it changed to once with her girlfriend. When I kept telling him that she had told me she had been to his house more than that, he finally admitted that one time she came with her girlfriend and then her girlfriend left and she stayed. I asked how long she stayed and he said about as long as it took to watch a movie. I had already even said the name of the movie and he couldn't remember the movie when I asked him again after he admitted to it and said Fred. Then I said no. You watched Red? And he goes, oh yeah, the one with Bruce Willis. Up to this point, he lied about every single thing and I realized it was a completely useless visit, but then said about 3 to 4 times in a row that I shouldn't leave her and that there is nothing to worry about. He also said, she didn't do anything wrong. Well, okay, she lied to you, but she didn't do anything worth getting a divorce over. I'm not sure if the reason he said this was because nothing really happened or because he really is just using her for as a good time and doesn't really like her. If I broke the marriage up, Perhaps it scares him and makes him realize he would be done with her. I'm trying to be devil's advocate and assume the second part is the truth. Because otherwise I don't get why he would say that. If he honestly was a good guy that was just her friend, why not just be honest? The fact that he didn't want to admit to anything at first does make me think he hasn't talked to my wife since I found out, or you'd think he would have had some of the story matching. So I don't know if him lying might actually be somewhat good or not. If it truly was a friendship, I don't understand why he'd be worried at all to just be honest from the start either though. We've honestly had slept together this past week on 2 different nights. First time in a really long time that's happened, to be honest. And in all honesty, it was really good time. Hard to explain, but it felt like it was way more than just bonding, which is what really gave me hope. I think I walked away from the bar feeling good because of what he had said at the end. But the more I thought about it, the more I wondered if he would just say that because he really doesn't want anything more than what they have. That or my wife has made him think the only way they keep going is if it stays a secret. If he really was an honest guy and my wife is just the absolute worst liar in the world, I still think he would have just been honest from the start and admitted to texting and her being at his house. He still never admitted to the truth about how she came over by herself. He never gave into that, even though he did finally say after my wife's girlfriend left, she stayed. But if that was the truth, my wife never would have lied and said she went by herself, as that sounds so much worse. So I know he was just too afraid to admit it in case I was just bluffing or something. I've talked to my wife in the past hour through texting and she is upset and now isn't sure she is even coming home. Of course, now I just wonder if that means she is going to talk to him tonight and feels the need to apologize. The last text I got said, "I'm not answering any of your texts for a while, just so you know. It's all messed up and I don't think I can take it anymore. No matter how crazy I am, and everything I've done to want to steal her phone, look up her texting, confront her boyfriend, there is no way she can put the blame on me, and that's what keeps happening." Comments: God gave men B for a reason. How about using yours? Your wife is playing games with you, disrespecting your marriage and running around not only on you but her family. Send her a text tonight that you have packed her a bag with her clothes and left it outside for her. Let her know when she is ready to act like a wife and mother and she can stop lying her butt off to your face, she can come home. Tell her you are giving her a limited time, and if she cannot grow up you will mail her the divorce papers. Why would you tolerate this nonsense? Grow up and grow a pair. I would bet a couple of grand that she is cheating and lying. She already told the guy not to tell you anything, but it looks like they haven't discussed the specifics. Don't fall for it. Here is what you do. When she comes tomorrow, take her cell and hide it. Tell her that you are going to get the data recovered from it through a software program. She can come clean in the meantime. Call a phone representative and talk to them on how to get back the messages. Log into her Facebook and retrieve all her messages she sent as zip, even deleted ones I think. Google her model phone and see if you can find any software that can retrieve the messages from that phone model. You need to act fast. Don't even give her a chance. Your wife's story followed the cheater's script to the T. OP responds: I think you are all right. I did tell her if she didn't come home right away that we were done. That was an hour and a half ago, and I agree. I know where she is going tonight. Even if she does come home, I know she's going to that bar to see him. A part of me wants to go and wait in the parking lot to see when she goes there. And another part of me has realized that won't change anything other than allow me to know I left a woman who was already cheating on me. I don't think I need the proof anymore. And I know an earlier response said the hardest part wasn't that she was sleeping with others, but knowing she loved the other guy. I agree. I honestly think the physical part is hard enough, and not sure if I'd leave her over it or not, but knowing she doesn't care one bit about stopping and being in our family even within a week of me finding everything out, it just proves how much she needs him and this new lifestyle she has. I wish her well when she asks her new guy that will laugh in her face when she asks him if she and her 2 kids could move in with him. I'm going to step up and pack her bags tonight, and this is my house and my family now. Thanks to everyone for the honesty, no matter how brutal it sounded. I always thought it would be so easy to leave someone who cheated on me, but turns out it's so much harder than it should be. Days later. So, I won't get into the details of what I did in the case that my wife was ever to find this. But I finally got my proof tonight that she went and saw the guy even after everything that happened today. I texted her at 4 a.m. and said her suitcase is packed outside, all the doors are locked, and the garage is disabled. You are not welcome at my house anymore. I don't think she actually has keys, we just use the garage. For the first time, she sounded desperate and realized how bad this is going to suck for her, and continued to text even after I said I have to go as I have 2 kids down the hall that are counting on me in a couple of hours. She still claims they haven't had slept together, as if holding on to that last little bit of information makes all the difference. Obviously, she has, but even worse, the fact that tonight still just had to happen proves how this marriage was never going to work. She is begging to stay at the house until she finds a place to live, to which I replied, you need to ask your guy if you can have half of his bed. Our credit cards are now canceled and we will have 2 checking accounts come Monday. Your life is about to get real, and I don't think you are prepared for it. but I did everything I could to prevent tonight from happening, and you still left our family. I do appreciate everyone's comments to help me see the light. And I finally feel better. It's nice to get closure even when it's the worst closure you could have ever imagined. Without reading all of this, I don't think I would have had the guts to do what I did tonight. Comments: well done. I think you finally have her attention. I would suggest you go dark on her for the rest of the day. Ignore all her attempts to contact you. Expose her affair to both of your families today. Make this your first priority. Just a short call to each of your and her parents and siblings to tell them that she is having an affair. That you gave her a choice to choose you or the affair partner. And that she chose the affair partner. Tell them who the affair partner is, but do not give them the gory details. Do not tell your wife you are doing this. Expose the other man to his boss. This may or may not do any good, but let the boss know that his employee is sleeping with married women with young children that he is meeting on the job. You can hint that he has some legal exposure for allowing this to continue via alienation of affection. Whether or not this is true might not matter, as just the thought of such a thing may be enough for him to reprimand the other man. If you know the other man's family, expose to them as well. Next, find a lawyer. Call first thing tomorrow and make an appointment to begin the divorce process ASAP. You can always stop the process if you decide to reconcile. Find out your options, your rights, and how you should proceed in the short term. Story 2. I'm sorry. We have been together for 12 years, married for 7. We have been very much in love with each other, but both had an affair while just dating. We spent a lot of time in different countries because of work reasons. Basically about 4 to 5 years total were long-distance relationship. Also, we had a lot of financial problems, with me paying almost all the bills for the entire marriage. My husband is an artist and I am very proud of him. I happily invested my work in him, but it was hard. After he had the affair while we were engaged, I had little trust in him and checked his email constantly. One day I noticed he changed his password and I became very angry. I told him he can no longer count on me and intentionally started being interested in a co-worker who had a crush on me. This emotional affair started a life of its own and grew rapidly, but my husband found out about it before it turned into a physical affair. We were both crushed by this. We both suffered a lot and we decided to reconcile. My husband gave me all his love and trust, and although the distance and the money problem continued, we were in love and happy. But I also kept the other man in my mind and could not be completely over my although I stopped communicating with him completely. This OM is a womanizer and I felt tricked by his flirting with me. I had this question in my mind whether he was genuine with me or not. Plus, I have some fantasy about a possible physical affair with him. It all led to me initiating and maintaining this ENPA with the OM for 6 to 7 months. Lying and deceiving my husband in a manner that I am very ashamed of. What amazes me is that at this point my husband was back home, got very successful in his work and was caring and loving. He is a wonderful man and great lover. Bonding was never a problem with us. My husband found out about this affair I had with the man. He told me never to talk again. And of course, his respect and love for me dramatically diminished. He tells me he has no love and no respect, that I fell from sky to earth for him, that he loved me immensely and I was his life and I destroyed him and his dreams. He wants to be friends but told me to make no hopes for reconciliation this time. I feel terrible and I realize now what I lost. My wonderful, wonderful husband, but also my innocence. My old self, the girl who was good and pure and an angel for my husband. All because I could not get over an which started as a stupid revenge. I feel stupid and contaminated, unworthy of my husband. But I want him back so much. I want our love back. I want to reconstruct our beautiful and special love. Please help me with some advice. How can I get my husband back? His love and his trust. The OM is like gone for me now, although the first reason for the affair to stop was him being a womanizer. I don't care at all about this guy now. All the feelings for him that I took as love are gone and I feel they will never come back. Reading my post, I realize the timing may be confusing. The first year with the OM happened 4 years ago. I started the second year and the P in January this year. During the 4 years break I almost did not talk to him at all. Just hello every once in a while. But I continue to think of him sometime, which was a stupid mistake. Comments: what does your want of you? Are the two of you reconciling? And if so, what are you doing in the way of the heavy lifting to get your back? You need to understand one thing. You need to stop calling your affair a mistake. It was never a mistake. It was a series of bad choices by you. You had to make decisions every step of the way. My or the other man, those decisions were not mistaking. You chose your lover over your It doesn't matter what you think of your lover now. It doesn't matter that you were nothing but a good time to him. What matters is what your thinks. And how he is handling all of this. I suggest you go to all the websites and find readings about what the truly remorseful, contrite, selfless spouse does to win their partner back. Your looks at you and sees your lover inside of you. This is what you are fighting. This is what you must somehow defeat. You want him to see a woman, he loves, he probably will never love that woman again, cause she is done to him. So start over. Treat this as if you were at the beginning, just starting to date, court him, date him, send him flowers, cook meals for him, take him out and do the things he likes to do, try to hold him close when he is in pain, from the visions he has of you with your lover. Just go out of your way to do anything to make your marriage work. OP responds, I don't know exactly what my husband wants. He says I destroyed everything and that things can never be the same again. When I beg him to reconcile, he says we have almost no chance to do so, that what I did brings feelings that are no longer in our control. He tells me that he wants to move out soon, to start a new life with someone else who truly loves him. But other times he tells me he still feels tenderness for me and we had slept together several times in the past 2 months since D-Day. We looked at our old pictures and cried together. But now he's been away for 1 to 2 weeks and I am worried. We communicate, talk, write, every day and he told me that a girl is hitting on him and that he is attracted to her. This makes me so worried. Comment, clearly this person regrets getting caught 3 times with the same man. There is no remorse. She may regret that she chooses the wrong horse in the race, and she clearly regrets having to live with the consequences of her own decision. What's not being said? What's not being said is that she did not do this once. Not twice but 3 times throughout the duration of her entire marriage. This is not for her. I made a mistake, please help me. That is not a mistake. That is toxic and damaged. Now why would someone choose to do that with the same person over and over? Betray their husband, lie, cheat, gaslight, and all of the other fun crap that this person was obviously doing throughout their marriage. Love, or more accurately, what this person thought was love or her soulmate or whatever. After being caught several times, even a person completely void of any respect for their spouse would have chosen another affair partner if it was just cheating and liking the excitement. Why did she keep coming back to the same well? You know why. She thought she was in love. OM was the one, the soulmate, the one that got away. Puke. You guys agree. I'm preparing a long one soon.